Hello and welcome to my channel. It's been a few days into Season 1 of Diablo 4 and I thought I'd share my first impressions of it. While not technically part of the season, I thought I'd start off by talking about the pre-season update. This update brought with it some buffs, but more importantly some nerfs that disproportionately affected some builds over others. Firstly, the buffs include some minor skill improvements for many classes and some major improvements to some affixes. The biggest buff is that almost all damage affixes have been buffed between 25 to 40%. These were done to offset the fact that these always fell in usefulness compared to affixes such as vulnerability damage and critical strike damage, which were pretty much essential for almost every build. Speaking of which, these are where the nerfs begin. Vulnerability damage was reduced by around 40% and critical strike damage by around 17%. Stats found on weapons, armor, and most damage reduction were also reduced. Cooldown reduction was also nerfed. Some builds were able to practically remove the cooldown for certain skills, allowing 100% uptime. Builds that relied heavily on skills with cooldowns, such as some sorceress builds, were hit especially hard with this. This means that not only do most builds do less damage, they also have less survivability. The developers have stated that this was done because players were becoming too strong. While they like the idea of players being able to kill monsters higher level than themselves, it is currently beyond what they think it should be for the long-term health of the game. To help offset some of this power drop, the devs have lowered the difficulty of nightmare dungeons. They want a player to be able to complete a tier 100 without having to play a specific build meta. They want the players to have more freedom in build diversity. Overall, I agree with the devs on these nerfs. I do, however, think that if they know a change will completely break some builds, they should be sure to buff other areas, making new builds possible or existing ones more viable. This is something I think they should have done a better job with. Now on to my impressions of the Season 1 specifics. We're only a few days in, and I must say, so far, we're off to a great start. I haven't finished the quest line yet, but so far it has been good and interesting, and the new malignant heart mechanics which are taught through this questline have been really great. A ton of new build options have been made available due to these hearts. My favorite for Necromancer so far has been automatically casting a corpse skill every second. This has turned corpse explosion and corpse tendrils into effectively passive skills now, and I absolutely love it. With it activating every second, there are usually corpses still on the ground to summon minions with, but having the constant explosions and the tendrils pulling groups of enemies together has been really powerful and fun to play. Another really nice bonus to these hearts is that they include armor. One of the worries of people is that classes such as Sorceress that require you to put skulls into jewelry sockets for armor were going to be really screwed this season. They would have to choose between the cool new affixes on the hearts or survivability. Luckily, this isn't the case. The Malignant Tunnels, the new dungeon type found this season, are also fun. A little on the small side, but a quick in and out and you'll usually leave with at least 3 new hearts. The inclusion of invokers to target farm a specific heart type is also really nice to have. Now the season's journey and battle pass are probably some of my favorite things from the season, and I know that a lot of those in the community probably don't share that sentiment, but hear me out. With such a large open world with lots to do, I can sometimes get bored doing the same content over and over again, and when that happens, knowing what else to do can be hard with so many options. I can just open up the season's journey and look for a task I haven't done yet, and that could give me something new to do. Maybe I haven't done PvP yet and I'm still missing those tasks. It can give me something new to do when I'm bored of running nightmare dungeons for the 100th time. For the most part, you can progress through it without much thought, as a lot of the tasks are things you'll probably do anyways, but there are usually 1 or 2 tasks each chapter that you probably haven't done yet. As for the battle pass, you can progress it even by just playing the game. You don't need to do the season's journey to progress. Just play the game as you normally would and you'll unlock free stuff. What's not to love about it? And if you're someone who got the premium battle pass, you can get a ton of cosmetics for only $10. If you think about the price of cosmetics in the shop, this is a really cheap way to unlock a ton more. Overall, I'm very happy with this season, and Blizzard has already stated later seasons will be even larger. This is more than I was expecting, especially when compared to Diablo 3 seasons, which just felt like a tweak to an already existing system every season, with just a few cosmetics to unlock. I'm very excited to see what comes next. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in Sanctuary.